panic mode. Going to continue on in the main story quest and see if we can do some leveling this morning. Alright. So for this quest, we need to put on this mask before we can continue. So, luckily I have my headgear hiding, so you don't have to see. I prefer it anyway. Oh, and if you don't already, but want to hide your headgear, here in the character, window, sorry, you can go down here to where it says hide display headgear. Same with your weapon. I just prefer not to have them, so yeah, we'll continue. One of the nice things, again, about having all your Aethernet shards unlocked, lets you get around the city a lot easier. So we're gonna continue on by getting ourselves to the Mikedo's Amphitheater. And since we have the mask on, it'll allow us to continue onto the quest. If we didn't, this is what it would look like. Just nothing. So, or I guess if we clicked on her. Nope, I guess it doesn't show. So, but let's make sure we have our mask on. Talk to Stain. And of course we all know what we're gonna do since we've already seen this. Skip. Alright, before we continue on, let's make sure that we have our friendship circlet on. If you don't have one of these, you can get them by doing the recruit a friend. And you do that by going to the MOG station, and under your profile, or your account, I guess, it has a panel banner that shows you the recruit a friend option. And if you have a friend who recruited you to the game and you want to use their code, it helps them out, it helps you out. You get really nice stuff as long as you guys continue to subscribe to the game. But yeah, when you're a beginner, having this friendship circle, it's really nice. So, anyway, we will continue. need to go to the Lotus stand. So that's gonna be over here. I'm gonna go ahead and sprint. Again, having the Aethernet shards all unlocked, we'll be able to speed right through this by going to Aethernet, and the Lotus stand is at the Conjurer's Guild. Alright, we're gonna skip this. Yeah. Skip. Now we're gonna go to the airship landing. We have the airship landing unlocked because we got all of the Aethernet shards unlocked. But since there's not an Aethernet shard nearby, unless we wanted to run all the way back to the main Aetherite, which would be counterproductive at this point, since we're right here. We're just gonna walk down these stairs. But the next time we're here, if we're next to like an Aethernet shard and we need to get to the airship landing, we can just take it straight here. Alright. I'm gonna skip this. And we're making our first appearance in Limsa. So one of the things that I'm first gonna do, instead of going through and turning in the main story quest, is like when I first started. So we're gonna go pick up all the Aethernet shards so that we have those available for us to get around the city a lot more easily for next time we're here. Because these main scenario quests, they take you pretty much right to the place where you need to be once you ride the lift. Let's go to the Drowning Wench first. Both in Limsa and the next city, Ul'dah. Well, one of the things is that you're going to be running around quite a bit, and it's nice to have these Aethernet shards unlocked. You don't have to do this right away. I just find it very nice. So let's go ahead and unlock these. Since there aren't any more Aethernet shards over here, I'm gonna take this to the aft castle, get just a little bit closer to the next set that we need to go to. I'm gonna talk to the lift attendant and go to the Bulwark Hall. Grab this main aetherite, so we'll be able to teleport directly to the city at other times. We're gonna go back to Hawker's Alley, and we're gonna go get our last Aethernet shard. Says that we've attuned to all of the Aethernet shards, and we have access to the airship landing now. So I'm gonna go back to the main Aetherite Plaza. Skip. Alright, now we can head back to the airship landing. And we're gonna head to the next city, and we're gonna get all the Aethernet shards there as well. Old Daw has a few more Aethernet shards than the other two cities, so it'll take us a little bit longer to get around, but that's okay. Skip. Alrighty. We've made it to Old Daw. Then we're gonna head out this direction. Talk to the lift attendant. I like to go to the husting strip first and get the two Aethernet shards that are there, and then continue. Actually, just missed it. Yep, this way. Alright, I've done this so many times, but it still gets me all confused. We're gonna make sure our map is open while we're looking for all the Aethernet shards. So, I'm actually gonna head all the way over here first, and then make my way from left to right. And, I mean, we could also work our way right to left. I guess it's just a matter of preference. Like if I bring us from left to right, this will put us out by the steps of Nald here. And if we take this exit into the next zone, it will put us in the Adventurers Guild, and that'll put us right next to another Aethernet shard. And I mean, I guess the other way we could do it too is if we started over here and made our way here, This would put us out by the Thaumaturge's Guild, where there's another Aethernet shard. So either way, we're going to be running all the way back around to pick up the main Aethernet shard, and then whichever other one we missed. So, you know what, since I'm closer to the right, I think I'm going to change my mind, and we're going to start at the right and go left. So, let's grab this guy first. What's the name of that one? That one's the Weaver's Guild. Okay. So then I'll just take this back to the Weaver's Guild and run from there. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and go through here and exit out this side. This will put us pretty close to the Thaumaturge's Guild. And sorry if you hear giggling in the background, that's just my husband. Alright, we've got a little bit of a trek to go. Alright. Oh yeah. It's gonna use my sprint, but I'm out. Pretty close to the next and last Aethernet shard. So, yeah. Oops, I moved. Alright, we've got all the Aethernet shards attuned. Let's continue on with the main story quest. And that will put us by the Chamber of Rule. And I'm gonna go ahead and sprint. Alrighty. Another cutscene. Skip. Alright. I guess I went a little fast there. Sorry about that. But one of the reward we got for finishing those quests was our very first minion. So I've got a lot of junk in my inventory, sorry guys. But right here, if you go to your inventory, it has your wind-up airship. It tells you in that little window across... Oh, it stopped showing if I stop highlighting over it. But over there on the left, it has a description of the minion and what it sells for. You probably don't want to sell it. I don't think there's any other way to get this if you were to. So what we're going to do is we're going to use it. So just click on it and select use. And now we can summon a wind-up airship minion. I know for a lot of people, minions are a lot of fun, and if you open up your character menu and come down to the minion guide, you can click on it, and it'll show you what minions you have available. So if you go ahead and click on that, it'll summon your very first minion. So take a look at that. So lots of fun. They have so many minions in this game. I'm pretty sure it's on up in the hundreds somewhere. I have quite a few on my main character, but I don't know if it even has reached the hundreds. I personally don't care too much for minions. I just think they kind of clog up the view a bit, but that's a personal opinion. I sometimes pull out a minion, like I have a koala that will climb up and sit on my shoulder, and I think that's pretty cute and fun, and I'll show it off sometimes. But normally, again, preference, I don't usually have them out. So let's continue with the main scenario quest. Let's zoom out a little bit. So it looks like we need to go back to Limsa Lominsa. And right now, I have an okay amount of gil. It's gonna be kind of expensive trying to travel there from here. 422 gil. I can't do math, but that's quite a chunk of what amount of gil I have right now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna head back to the airship landing. It doesn't save a whole lot of time. I apologize, but it'll save us some gil, because I know in the beginning gil's gonna be pretty scarce. So since we unlocked all of the Aethernet shards, I headed back to this one. Down at the very bottom we have the airship landing. We'll just head there. Alright. Not the frontline attendant, the airship ticketeer. Did I say ticketeer? I mean ticketer. So here we can go to the first two. I'll show us how to get to the gold saucer later on. But for now, we're just going to go to Limsa Lamensa to continue our main story quest. And see, it's a much more reasonable price doing it this way. 120 gil. Although we have a cutscene that we'll of course skip. Alright, so now that we're here, we need to go to the Drowning Wench. Alright, so I think that this is the first time that we've come across armor that is class specific when we're looking at picking something up as a reward. Underneath where it says item level 15, it talks about what classes can wear this armor, and right now it's all in red because none of those classes are the ones that we are, so we would not be able to wear this armor. We could still pick it up if we wanted to as a reward, but right now that's not going to do me any good. I'm not planning on being a tank, so I'm going to go ahead and check on my other options. The Disciple of War, which we are as an archer, so I'm going to go ahead and pick that up. The other option is Disciple of Magic, or we could just go for the bronze pieces. But this gives me +3 to my defense and magic defense, so I'm gonna pick it up. We learned a new action. The nice thing about this new action is that it is our first AoE or area of effect ability for this class. And we're going to be starting our first dungeon soon. So it'll be fun to be able to use that. And I'll share with you guys what it does. Oh yeah, cutscene. Skip. While we're here, I'm gonna pick up these 2 quests because I like to have them available for me. I believe this one gives me a challenge log. And then this one allows us to unlock the Aesthetician. The Aesthetician allows us to change certain features on our character later on. You can't change all of them. It's not as extensive as the character creation was. But you can change like your hairstyle, hair color, you can change how your eyebrows look, you can change your lip color, your face paint, stuff like that. So I like to be able to have that available because I sometimes get tired of how my character looks, so try to spice it up a little bit. Sorry I went a little fast again. So this is the first time that a quest wants you to do an emote that triggers a response from an NPC. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my keyboard and I'm gonna type / doubt. Another way that I could do this is I could take, and instead of typing doubt in the say chat down there, is I could go to my social and go to emotes. And I guess this is the first time we're looking at our emotes. There's quite an extensive list of them, and it's a lot of fun to use them. We'll probably make an emote bar and start playing around with those in a bit. But for now, we have this list of neutral, happy, I guess, and angry emotes is what I'm gonna call them. So under the angry emotes, we've got doubt. So that's where you can find it as well. If you're not sure what you're supposed to type out, you can always open up this list and just make sure you have the character highlighted that you're supposed to emote at, and yeah, it's pretty simple. I'll just go ahead and click doubt and I'll show you. Pretty angry at him. One of the things about emotes is that if you saw in my chat log there, it popped up with "you question the flustered man." That's part of my emotes, creating a log. If you don't want to create that log, you can always open up your emotes menu and go to the bottom where it's highlighted display log message. You can unclick that, and because sometimes one of the reasons why you do this is that generally it's frowned upon to quote-unquote spam the chat with emotes, and there are some emotes that look pretty funny when you use them, and my husband will probably get kind of frustrated with me by showing you guys this, but there's like hand over. Let me create my first emote bar. So before I do this, just know this is kind of a silly thing to do. But if you were to do this without turning off your log, it would continually put an action into your chat window, and it would just spam the chat. So, but this is one of those funny emotes that you can do that that's fun to spam. Kind of looks like you're scratching your butt. But again, that's just one of the many that you can do that look funny when you spam them. But again, it is frowned upon to have your chat spam, so turn that stuff off before you do that. Alright, so next we're going to go ahead and get our challenge log. The challenge log keeps track of, I guess, challenges, things that you can accomplish within the game. It has a reset timer, so during the week you have a certain amount of time to complete these challenges, and you'll get certain rewards of either or XP and gold, or gil, I guess, sorry. There's gil, there's XP. When we get to level 30, you can get XP for your chocobo. You have the ability to summon your chocobo into combat with you during certain overworld instances. But we'll get into that later. So, we gotta go to the Fisherman's Guild. And talk to this guy. And since I just talked about the challenge log, I'll go ahead and open it up so that you guys can take a look at what it looks like really quick. So go ahead and open our main menu, and it's under logs, and it's the very bottom, called the challenge log. So battles, PvP, fate, levy quests, all kinds of stuff. You can see that it shows you, oops, sorry, it shows you what kind of rewards you get for completing, like yesterday when I was streaming, I showed you guys how to unlock guild hests. If you complete 3 guild hests, you'll get this much XP and that much more gil. Same with completing 10 guild hests, you'll get XP and gil. And this is nice because when you do player commendations, you get rewarded. Not only does it help somebody else out by getting that commendation, but it helps you out by completing these challenges. So don't forget to calm people. Or commend people, I guess. Because it really does help. So, alright. Back to doing the main scenario quest. Oh, you know what? I got a reward of new armor, and I forgot to put it on. Oh, and a new ring, too. Alright. So we're gonna go ahead and save. And continue on with our quest. I'm gonna go to Aleport. Always want to pick up these aetherite shards when you come across them. This will allow you to travel back to this place once you've left the area. If I go to my travel teleport, it'll show me that I got Aleport available now to teleport to. So, very useful. Especially if you don't want to be running around everywhere all the time. So, anyway, we shall continue. Oh, you know what? I just remembered. There's a very important part of this game that not all new users know about. They have it here, but they also have it in every inn in the game, and it's this guy, the smith. This guy offers training, not only training for how to play the game once you hit level 15, but they also give you armor to help out, and there's a ring that you get for completing all of the tutorial, and this ring will help give you, I think it's 30% EXP up to level 30, so it's very useful and helps tremendously when you're trying to level up other classes. So I'm going to go ahead and instead of continuing the main scenario quest, I'm going to go ahead and do these quests here with the smith and get all of that gear to show you what it looks like to get that gear for the DPS class and to get that ring once I've completed it. The only crappy part about it is that you can't skip through the dialogue, so it's gonna take me a little while to do this, so bear with me. I'm just gonna run up right up on top of this guy. So far, it's pretty easy to dodge all of this stuff. Normally as a ranged DPS, you would not probably want to stand on top of the tank like that. But for this exercise, we're just gonna cheese it a little bit. Alright, he's gonna pull me in, and I'm not gonna be able to move for a minute, but I'm gonna have my stick pressed to the left so I can get out of there as soon as possible. It's pretty simple. It's nothing too hard. They give you a good amount of time to get out of the AoEs. So, and you just have to avoid and you pass. Talk to this guy and we get our first reward of our new gear. So I think instead of trying to put on each new piece of gear right away, I'm just gonna continue on with these lessons. Then I'll put it on at the end to show you what it looks like. Alright. In red we have our team members, and in blue we have our enemies, so my job is to make sure that this guy dies as quickly as possible. And yeah, it's pretty simple, this part. So during this next part, they don't want you to switch off of attacking an opponent that your tank is not, which I think is a little silly, because normally I would throw a dot down on everybody here since there's only 3 opponents, but we're just gonna follow the rules and make sure we get through the tutorial, so. if I'm correct, I think this is the last one before we get to the final test. I'm gonna come and position myself over here. Maybe it wasn't the smartest idea to grab his attention before I grabbed that gate, but luckily it worked out. Alrighty. So yep, that was the final one before we do the final test. So now that I've gotten all the gear from it, I'm gonna go ahead and equip all of it. So that's what the gear set looks like for the DPS. I really like how the mage set looks, and the tank set looks really nice. I think the DPS is a little funky, but that's just my opinion. So, alright, let's do the final test and get that ring. This one will incorporate everything that we learned from the test, or from all of the trials there into this test. It's fairly simple, just a little tedious, I guess, trying to complete all of them. What I do as an archer, I stay away from the healer specifically during these quests, or during this trial. Because eventually there are going to be enemies that come upon me, and we don't want them to damage the healer, because if we lose the healer or the gladiator, then we have to start the trial all over again. And I've had that happen. It's no fun. Oops. Guess I should stand away from this bush. I can't see anything. this is gonna get a little tricky. Luckily, as an archer, we're able to move while we attack. When you're black mage or thaumaturge starting out, sorry, it's a little tricky because you cannot move while you're trying to cast your spells. Back here. Give me plenty of space to move. Since this guy does quite the large AoE. Yay, we did it. Check that out. Our new ring. 30% when level 30 and below. Alright, so we don't need to talk to the smith anymore. Let's talk to the seasoned adventurer and work on our quest. Oh, huh. Huh. Before we continue, let's get that new ring on. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. So this is probably gonna take a bit of time. This is our first dungeon. And as a DPS, queue times are crap. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and queue us for the dungeon, but I'm gonna go ahead and continue working on other quests while we wait. You can either start the dungeon by going to the entrance here and clicking on it, and it'll open up to exactly where you need to go. Or if you don't feel like doing that, or you go somewhere else before you have a chance to open up that menu by the entrance, you can always go into your duty finder, and it'll populate there. So, that said, let's go ahead and highlight it and join the queue. It says it'll take approximately 11 minutes, but at this time of day, it probably is going to take longer than that. So, Not sure where I'm running to. I'm gonna continue with the Beauty is Only Scalp Deep quest. Hopefully the queue doesn't pop while I'm teleporting somewhere. You all know my load times on the PS4. Let's go back to Limsa. Limsa is especially bad. People tend to congregate here, and while it looks empty right now, it's just going to take a minute for people to populate. Because the Aetherite is right here next to these market boards. This is where everybody hangs out. So, anyway, we're going to take Aethernet to what is it? The Culinarians Guild? No, we need to go to the Aft Castle. I believe. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, at first I was thinking the opposite direction. I'm gonna go ahead and teleport to Ul'dah, and I'm probably gonna get criticized for this, but I'm gonna use one of my Aetherite tickets to travel there for free. I just looked over at my, yeah, and saw that Doubt was still hanging out in the chat. Alright, so let's go to the Alchemists Guild. I think that was where I was supposed to go. Pretty sure. Yep, Alchemist's Guild. Oh. And then we'll return to Gridania. to the Carpenters Guild. Alright, so we picked up all of those for the quest. Now we just need to go back to Limsa. Our teleport back to Limsa is very expensive. I'm gonna go ahead and use another Aetheryte ticket to teleport there. But if you're trying to save Gil, I would recommend just going to the airship and using that to get around. So I'm gonna go ahead and use Aetheryte ticket. Go to the aft castle. And not that way. This way. I'm gonna go ahead and skip this cutscene, but it's kind of a funny one to watch if you have the inclination to do so. So I definitely recommend watching it the first time you ever do it. So, but yeah, skip. Oh, of course I went a little fast there, accepting my reward. The first time you unlock the Aesthetician, he gives you this cool ticket called Jandalane's ticket. Sorry, I'm probably butchering that name. Or token, sorry, not ticket. And what you do is the first time you go to use the Aesthetician bell in an inn room, it allows you to change your hair and all of that for free by using that one token. The rest of the time, it's going to cost you 2,000 gil in order to change your look up. So, I guess I recommend using that token wisely. But I can show you guys real quick, actually. If you go to an innkeep, and retire to an inn room, I'll show you these neat little things that are in here. So right here is the crystal bell. This is where you summon the Aesthetician. It looks like a little barbershop pole. No, I'm not going to click on that. A summoning bell. So when we go ahead and get our first retainers, use the summoning bell to interact with them. The toy chest as you continue on in the main scenario quest, and also doing certain side quests, you'll unlock different activities that you can do by using the toy chest. you have the armoire, where you can store certain gear items, and the glamour dresser. Actually, I think I'd like to show you guys how to do the glamour dresser. It's one of everybody's, I guess I can't say everybody, sorry, but most people's favorite thing to do in this game is to make your character look good. And generally people do that by buying certain what are called glamours. Generally they are level 1 armor pieces that you can easily throw into your glamour dresser and use those to change what you're wearing to look like that, if that makes sense. So to demonstrate, let's go to not to Ul'dah, sorry. We're gonna go to Thanalan. And to get there, oh yeah, I forgot that I was in queue. It's been over 11 minutes. Like I said, it's probably gonna take a while. But let's go to the Bulwark Hall. And we'll go this way. So I know it doesn't look like we're going to Thanalan going this way. But trust me, there's a fun way, easy way to get to a place called Vesper Bay from here. We go to the Arcanists Guild. Once you've reached level 15 in the main scenario quest and unlocked the travel between the cities, you can use this ferry ticketer. Sorry, you can't really see him behind that pole. To travel to Vesper Bay, and it only costs 80 gil. It'll put us right where we need to be. Skip this cutscene. Oh, our queue popped. Hopefully this loads us up pretty quickly. Alright, perfect. We're just gonna commence. And everybody accepted? Perfect. And I'm gonna go ahead and skip this cutscene. While they're grabbing that, one of the important parts of this dungeon is this bloody memo. It changes what color you have to pick every time. And we'll see that here shortly, what I mean. you technically don't have to necessarily get the bloody memo. You can always just trial and error the coral when we get to it. The only problem with that is that it pops out one of these Aurelias, and they poison you. Nobody likes to be poisoned. And it's just one more, or possibly two more, things to fight that you don't necessarily need to. Ah, crap. That aiming system, though. One of the reasons why I'm ignoring the smaller things and going straight for the clams is that the clams create those smaller things, the Shade Seekers, and if I can kill the clam before it can make more, it's just that much better. Have to touch the red coral and hit the switch. And it pops up this little boss you fight. About this mini boss here, the chopper, is that you can interrupt him when he does that big AoE. Nobody did, however. which is a little sad. But maybe the next time we run through, we can demonstrate. I don't have an ability that can interrupt as an archer, but like a lancer or a tank could do it. I've already got gloves that meet this, so I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna need on that. I'm gonna pass on those. The loot system for this game is pretty nice. When you are able to need on something, it means that it's actually something that you can equip. Those who are able to equip it can roll need for it, and it does a random number for whoever gets the highest one wins. Looks like we wiped. We must have pulled a little too much. So when you wipe in a dungeon, if it's further along than the first boss, then generally there's a shortcut that you can take, and it'll put you closer to where you were before you died. I guess I can explain this a little bit more while we wait for the Lancer to get back. So on the items that I can't use, like these plundered trousers, those are specifically for a tank build. I would only be able to greed or pass on it. Greed allows you to roll on it still, potentially get it. The only way you would not get it is if somebody rolled higher than you on a greed, or if somebody who actually could use it rolled a need. Need comes before greed. And then, if you absolutely do not want it, you just click pass. And that's what I did for those particular pants. Because I don't plan on starting a tank for a while. My tanking is not the best. Yeah, I'll try not to make you guys suffer through that. Yep, we got the key. fast aggro. So I'm gonna try and bring these guys back into tanks AoEs. Another cutscene. I'm gonna go ahead and skip that. The cool thing about this fight is that you can DPS down the boss before you have to worry about the mechanics of the dungeon. The creators probably did not intend for that, but that's just how it is. So we're gonna go ahead and focus our DPS on the boss. Oh, I forgot to put limit break on my bar. Looks like the tank is, or the Dragoon is the only one we can commendate because everybody else left already. So I don't need that, and neither do I need these. maybe if we get lucky, this guy will give us a commendation. But it looks like he didn't. Darn. If we had gotten a commendation, it would have showed up in our text log, our chat log there. But yeah, we didn't, so maybe next time. Generally, it's the tanks and the healers that get commendations. So, anyway, back to unlocking the glamour dresser. Alright, so we are now in Vesper Bay. We will be coming here quite a bit during the main scenario quest. It's probably a meme at this point for most of the Final Fantasy XIV community, having to get back to Vesper Bay. But anyway, here we are, and here we go. We're going to talk to Sweargheim here, and she's going to give us 2 quests. Color Your World, which allows us to dye armor pieces and glamours. And If I Had a Glamour, which will allow us to make our armor look nice or change its appearance. So first, I'm going to go over this way and grab the objective for one quest. All we're doing is getting Sweargheim some orange juice. Man, does she love her orange juice. And then for the second quest, we need orange juice, but it's not going to give it to us like it did for the other one. We have to come to this merchant and mender, or if you've already got some on you, that's perfect. But we'll talk to this guy, go to purchase items, and down here he's got orange juice. We're just gonna buy the one. That's fine. So now we have orange juice for both the objectives, and we'll give them to Sweargheim and get our rewards. She is very excited about that orange juice. Alright, now we have glamours available to us. Let's see. What's the best way to go about this? So if I was a level 15 in a crafting class, I'd be able to do this one more time, and she'd give me the ability to buy a special glamoring item from this crafting tome vendor. But right now I don't have a crafter to level 15. I might have to do that to demonstrate that quest. So for now we're just gonna go ahead and head back to the ferry ticketer. go back to Limsa. Oh, cutscene. Skip. Alright. We're gonna go to the aft castle. I'll show you the other way to get to the Drowning Wench from there. Normally I just run through by going to the Aetherite Plaza and going to the lift operator and going down to the Drowning Wench. But the aft castle is another way that we can get there fairly quickly. It's just one load screen then as well. So we're gonna come over here and talk to him and retire to an inn room. One of the nice things about that quest that we did to get our glamours unlocked is that they gave us these things called glamour prisms. We need glamour prisms in order to convert a piece of armor or clothing into a glamour. While you can take and glamour something manually by going into your character and clicking cast glamour, it uses up a glamour prism every time you do that, and it's not necessarily permanent. You can't put it back on later. If you upgrade your gear, you'll have to use a glamour prism every time you want to make your gear look like that glamour. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to make a more quote-unquote permanent solution. So you go to your glamour dresser, and it'll open up these two windows here. You'll want to go to the right one here. I'm going to hide the items registered to my gear sets, so I don't accidentally throw something in there that I'm wearing. Then I'm going to go to head, body, hands, because I've already got a couple things that I can wear from my mail, from being a player for the amount of time that I have been. So I'm going to go ahead and put the strife vest in there, the strife gloves, the strife bags, and the strife boots. Another thing that I would really like to get is something to hide my necklace, earrings, and wrists, the wrist guards or whatever, the necklace, bracelets, and bracelets, that's what it's called, sorry. But right now I don't have access to get them very cheap, so I'm just gonna have to deal with that. And I did not mean to close that, I apologize. So once you've put the items from your inventory, sorry, there we go, your armory chest into your glamour dresser, then what you're going to do is you're going to go down here where it says Edit Glamour Plates. Right now I have 15 glamour plates that I can choose from, and all of them are blank. And then at the very end, this shows what my armor looks like when it's not glamored, which can be useful if you want to use a glamour dispeller to instead make your armor look like how it used to look. So what I'm going to do is, in this first glamour plate, is I'm going to go ahead and select my body and put on the strife pieces. Hopefully you followed me through that. So I'm gonna wear those for now. It's not the most stylish, but I like it a little bit better than what my gear looks like right now. I might cheat a little bit and transfer some money over from another character so that I can get something nice to wear while I'm streaming. But other than that, like, this is probably what I'll look like for now. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. And each time I go ahead and apply this, it's free. It doesn't cost any more glamour prisms. It doesn't cost any glamour dispellers. It's all free to apply this now. The only, I guess, downside is that that's how my gear will look from now on until I dispel it, or if I decide to go ahead and put that specific piece of gear in my glamour dresser. Excuse me. So you can use your glamour plates by going into your character menu and clicking on glamour plate, and it will open up this menu, and from here you can select your different glamours, as long as you are in any of the major cities and special zones such as residential districts. If you're at like the wedding chapel, you can select glamours once you're inside in the waiting room, and I think that's about it. There's once you're out in the open world though, you're not able to change your glamours, so make sure you look how you like before you go out. And then if you get a new piece of gear and it changes how you look, you're just going to have to come back to one of the major cities or residential district to change again. That's just how it is. So, but it's a pretty easy system. So, yeah, that's people joke that to be able to glamour is end game, and in a sense they are correct. So that's one of the big things that people like to do in this game, is make their characters look good, and who can blame them? So anyway, that's how to do glamours in a nutshell. I think right now I'm gonna go take a break, I'll be back in a few minutes. So I'll see you guys soon. I'll go ahead and leave the stream for now, but I will be back. Enjoy.